Okay, hello everyone, and welcome to another episode of Oscar Film Forecast. Today, we will be predicting the category of Best Actor at the 2022 Oscars. Lots of great potential upcoming performances that we are going to speculate about right here, right now. So, how are you feeling about Best Actor, Ben?
Really hopeless. I have no idea kind of what to expect, but I do have a few controversial things to say, and that is I just don't see some things happening that people see happening. But we'll get to
Yeah,
that, I'm sure.
yeah, we always have some bold predictions here in the acting categories, as you may know from our early predictions last year. Um, some of them work out, some of them don't.
Mm.
So, what do you have in honorable mentions for Best Actor, Ben?
Well, first I'll say is that currently I am rewatching, well, kind of rewatching, kind of for the first time watching The Walking Dead. I watched the first few
Ah,
seasons of that, and then
yeah.
my father watched on without me, so I stopped. And then, but Stephen Yeun is such a treasure. I'd love to see him get
Hmm.
nominated again. Hopefully for a performance that's more worthy. I didn't think he kind of deserved it for Minari. I thought he was more supporting, but I'm still
Yeah.
happy he's an Oscar-nominated actor because he's just such a sweetheart. I love him.
Yeah.
So I'm not sure if he's lead for the Humans.
Yeah. I don't know what they're doing there. I feel like that may be a case where they throw a lot of people in supporting, kind of like they're doing with Mass. For some reason, they're throwing everyone in
Yeah,
supporting. But
that's
he
ridiculous.
could be lead, honestly. I mean, it was kind of like the same situation with Minari. It's like I feel like he was more lead in that, but he could have gone supporting.
He was he was the most lead actor, but like to say that anyone was a lead in that movie was like
I think if
I
anything,
suppose he was.
the kid was the lead. Alan Kim, I think, would have
Yeah,
been the lead. But
Alan Kim. And even Yuri Han was more of a lead.
yeah,
But look, that's a different movie and a different year. Stephen
yes,
Yeun is someone who I would love to see make it. No one's kind of predicting him at the moment, and I think that's kind of foolish.
I am a
I
fool.
think he could do
I am not
it. Oh,
predicting him currently, sadly.
fair,
But
fair
I have.
enough. I just like to cast a white net.
Mhm. What else
Then I
for
also
honorable
have
mentions?
two completely embarrassing things. I'm probably dead wrong on this, but Denzel Washington and Will Smith, I don't see it.
Wow. Wow,
I
wow.
think King Richard looks way just too over the top, too try hard, too like, oh my God, aren't I so great? Give me an Oscar. And you see films like that completely fall apart all the time.
Hmm.
Like last year you had a few, the year before that you had so many. You always see these big star vehicles going for the Oscar. Will Smith has had many of them. Concussion comes to mind,
Yeah.
and it just never happens. I don't like it could, but I see more interesting performances not really, but kind of do. And Denzel Washington, Tragedy of Macbeth is just something I'm skeptical about, so I'm just leaving it there for now.
Okay. Those are some intriguing honorable mentions. Is yeah. I will be talking about a few of those later on. So
Mm.
for my honorable mentions in Best Actor, I put Michael B. Jordan for A Journal for Jordan. It's Denzel directing him, and Denzel directed the performances in Vice, so he can bring about some good performances. He won. He
Vice?
directed Viola. Did I say Vice?
Yeah.
Fences. We were talking
Mm.
about Vice so much earlier. It's on the brain. Um, in Fences, thankfully he didn't direct Vice, or else I would not have faith in this.
Mm.
A Journal for Jordan. Michael B.
Well, I suppose
Jordan.
he did direct Fences, which means I have zero faith in that movie. I hated that movie. I
Well,
really thought it was terrible.
he did direct Viola Davis to a great performance, so that's why
That's
I
true.
think Michael B. Jordan, even if the movie's okay,
Mm.
could potentially get in there. I feel like he probably should have gotten in there for Black Panther. I thought he was great in that movie, and I think he was deserving of supporting actor that year.
Mm.
So I think at some point in these next few years, he's going to get an Oscar nomination. So it could
Mm.
potentially be this.
Yeah.
I also have Peter Dinklage in I don't know how you say this. Siriano, I believe, is what it's called.
Yeah.
It's he did it in a play. He even though the play didn't get the best reviews, he himself got good reviews as the actor in it. And yeah, I think Peter Dinklage, he's a big Emmy favorite. He won a ton of Emmys for Game of Thrones. He was
Mm.
great on that show. So let's bump him up to the Oscars. I think he's deserving of an Oscar nomination.
Mm.
And last but not least, I want this to happen, but right now I have him in honorable mentions, is Andrew Garfield for Tick Tick Boom. I
Mm.
think he is just such an underrated actor. I
Yeah.
think he should have won for The Social Network. He was so good in that. Um, Great in Hacksaw Ridge. So I think he'll be great in this movie. definitely. So he's got a shot of getting in there. So that's my
Mhm.
honorable mentions.
Yeah, I loved Andrew Garfield in What's in the Social Network. Like,
Yeah.
really, really thought he was great. He was. I always feel bad when he's never nominated. And The
Mhm.
Eyes of Tammy Faye, I don't see that for him.
No, not for him.
But look, he's double teaming this year, so that could be good for him. Could be
Yeah.
good for my number five as well. But we'll get to that in a second. And Michael B. Jordan is someone who I forgot to have in my honorable mentions. I didn't know that movie had a release date. I just didn't think it was coming out, but apparently it does. In
December.
Christmas.
Yeah.
Yeah. So yeah, I would put him in there because look, he is a very good actor, and people might want him to be nominated. I wouldn't have nominated him for Black Panther, but I see the argument when you. I love Vice, but
When
Sam
you have Sam
Rockwell
Rockwell in there, yeah.
playing George W. Bush again, like he was fine, but he
Yeah.
was barely in the movie, and he just basically did a caricature. Like he was no better than Kate McKinnon playing Hillary Clinton, and she actually
Hmm.
did like she did many sketches. He was barely in that movie. It was ridiculous. So
Yeah.
yeah, I do kind of feel bad that he was left out, and that Tim and other people were left out that year for his performance. It was more of a caricature than anything. Um,
Yeah.
I think those now. I think all those honorable mentions could easily happen.
Yeah.
Easily happen.
I like all of them, so good luck to all of them. Best of luck. So what do you have at number 5, Ben, for best actor?
At number five, I have Adam Driver.
Ooh,
Yeah,
interesting.
I don't know for which movie. Probably House of
Yeah.
Gucci. But I don't know.
I believe he would be, I think if he was campaigned for the last duel, I think he would be supporting actor,
Hmm.
is what my
Okay.
guess would be.
Well, then for House of Gucci, he
I
looks
think
so
he's getting
stupid.
nominated somewhere, but I
Yeah,
personally don't have him for House of Gucci.
that's fair enough. I have nothing really to say about it. I just have
Hmm.
no idea what to make of this category at the moment. So I just said
Yeah,
Adam Driver's a name. People
he
like him.
is.
I like him. I think he looks stupid as in, like really, really weird in the movie. But I mean, that's who he's playing. So
Yeah,
that's
yeah,
he's a committed actor.
he is. And I think he's going to be in a lot of the movie, even though his character may not have the best of fates. I think based off the trailer, it looks like he is going to be just as much of a lead probably as Lady Gaga, maybe a little less, but definitely the lead actor in it.
Mm,
Um, so yeah, I think he's doing he's him and Ridley Scott. They've got some contenders this year. They're best of buddies apparently. It seems like.
that's good.
So at my number 5, I have a movie that we talked about last year, even. That I'm just still unsure about. I have Joaquin Phoenix in Come On, Come On.
Yeah.
Um, you know, Joaquin Phoenix, he just recently won his Oscar. He never gives a bad performance. Um, he's an interesting actor. So I don't think he'll win for it. But I think the role here, I believe he's playing someone with a bipolar disorder, and he's like with his nephew, I believe. Um, so I think it's also A24, so that helps also because they also bring about great performances, even though they may not have the best campaigns. So I think he'll definitely give a great performance. He's got a bit more of a spotlight on him after winning for Joker, so I think he could just get in there at number 5.
They couldn't even make the farewell happen, which is
That's
just
tragic.
devastating.
Yeah.
Like one of the best movies of the past decade,
Their
and it had every
2019 slate was unbelievable.
yeah,
A24, Waves,
and they
Uncut Gems, Farewell,
I'm sure they had
Lighthouse.
others too. The Lighthouse, oh my God,
So many
they
good
had everything
movies.
going for them with the farewell, and they still mess it up. So I wouldn't be surprised. I also would
Yeah.
throw Joaquin Phoenix in the honorable mention because
Hmm.
again, I have zero faith in that studio to launch anything. It's really weird. They have great films, but they don't know what to do with them. They had
Yep.
Midsommar in 2019 as well.
Yeah.
I didn't hate that movie as much as Hereditary, but I still don't know how I feel about it. Weird
It's
movie.
good. Not as much of a masterpiece as Hereditary, but good.
Interesting definition of masterpiece there.
Yeah.
Number
Mhm.
four, um, I have Andrew Garfield for Tick Tick Boom.
Ah, I see.
Look, if it happens, it happens, and I do see him kind of stealing Anthony Ramos's thunder and being like, I'm
Yeah.
the musical guy this year,
Yeah.
and just being there. And I would like that because I really like him. He's a great actor. He's the best Spider-Man, hands
Hmm.
down. He's
Definitely.
one of the definitely.
He's the
Um,
best actor of all of them, like a 1000%.
that's not even a question.
Yeah, that's not even close.
Come on now. Well, like what has Tobey Maguire done? He like
He's
screamed in like a movie and he like
he's
broke a
not
few cabinets.
Tom Holland. Tom Holland's best performance is still when he was a kid in The Impossible, I think. But
Yeah. I mean, look, he's Tom Holland's a surprise. I think he's a better actor than Tobey Maguire. I can't stand
yeah,
Tobey Maguire.
definitely. I hate
I
Tobey
hate that
Maguire.
guy.
Yeah.
I thank you. Based. Cheers.
Yep.
Um, Andrew Garfield is a guy who I love, and if this movie happens and everyone starts to love it, he should get a nomination. But
He
again,
should.
everything's kind of up in the air. You never really know. But I would like it to happen. It's more of a I hope this happens for this guy. I love Andrew Garfield.
Yeah, I do too. I really hope he gets in there. Um, and who knows? He could.
Mm.
Uh, so then my number four, Mr. Bradley Cooper for Nightmare Alley. He's the lead in this movie. Apparently, he has, uh, based off the story here, he has one of the meteor roles in terms of like performance potential. I think he kind of like has goes a little crazy. I don't know. I don't really know completely what happens here. But
He
he's
goes
the
crazy.
lead. Yeah, he's the lead, and it's in Guillermo's next big Oscar contending movie. I think based off the cast here, he's got to get at least one or two acting nominees in here. This isn't like a Dune where you can still get in Best Picture and not have any acting. I think he's got
Mm.
to get one or two in there, and I think Bradley is definitely, if they're going to get in there, going to be one of them.
Mm. Yeah, I agree. He's my number two.
Who?
Mm.
He's
I can't wait for the movie.
yeah, it's exciting.
Yeah. So number three then,
Your number three, yes.
Mr. Benedict Cumberbatch.
Yes, yes, that is also my number three.
Interesting. Okay, do tell. You know more about the movie than I do.
For yes, The Power of the Dog. I don't know about that name. I don't know what that name's about. I don't really know what the
Weird
movie's.
name.
The movie's about, I think, like two brothers who own a farm, and like him and Jesse Plemons. There's like a competition between them, and his wife is like involved. That's really all I know. I'm probably not explaining it the best. But it just. Did you see that photo that was recently released of him in the
Yeah,
movie? I honestly, I thought it looked like Matthew McConaughey. It doesn't look anything like him. And Benedict Cumberbatch has kind of been, when he does Oscar fairy movies or dramatic movies, he's kind of been stuck in the British, like historical drama
bad
stuff.
movie.
Besides, I like The Imitation Game, and
I
he got
don't,
nominated
but
for that.
whatever.
Yeah,
I just what a boring fucking movie.
he
It's
was
fine.
good in it at least. I think you have
Yeah,
to agree with that, right? Yeah.
yeah, he was good.
Hmm.
The fact that that got a directing nomination over
Yeah.
Gone Girl, which is a masterpiece. I mean, that was just such a like. It looked like an episode of Call the Midwife. Like it just looked no
Yeah.
better than a regular BBC episode.
Yeah. It probably
Whatever.
wasn't the best directed, but I still enjoyed it. But he's breaking out of that British biopic kind of comfort zone that he's found for himself. He's going to be American. He's going to be like a southern like farmer guy, and I
Like in the
think there's
Mauritanian.
yeah, and he's gonna have some, what do you call it, some family drama going on. I think he's gonna have a lot of reactions to said family drama and maybe some cool monologues,
Mm,
with his nice American accent, which they always like a good accent change. So
they do.
yeah, I think he's got a really good shot of getting in there. Who knows? Maybe he could even win.
Yeah, if it's a big enough deal movie. So I've already talked about number two, which is Bradley Cooper. So you go straight into that. But I will say on
Yes.
Benedict Cumberbatch is that I think everyone likes him, and that really helps you when you're campaigning.
Yes. My number two, my number one and two, I'm switching between where I'm not sure. I have them pretty much on equal footing, but I guess number two right now, I'll put I'll put Will Smith at number two right now because I think of the two, he would be less likely to get nominated. But Will
Mm,
Smith, we know he's a good actor. He's not the best actor, but he's a good actor. He can give some good performances.
mm.
Based off the trailer, I think it looks like he's going to give a good performance. Maybe not like an amazing performance, but I do think lots of people think he's overdue for an Oscar. He did have that controversy, I think, a few years back during the whole Oscars so white issue. What was he not nominated for concussion, right? And that was a big deal. And then his
I
wife
think so.
boycotted the Oscars or something.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I think there will be people who think this guy deserves some attention. I mean, Warner Brothers seems to be putting some campaigning behind it already. Uh,
Mm,
it's one of their bigger contenders, so I think he's very likely going to get in there.
mm.
Whether or not he'll win, maybe, who knows?
Who knows?
And you already did your number two, correct?
Yeah.
Bradley Cooper.
And my number one is Leonardo DiCaprio for Don't
Mm,
Look Up. What a
no.
legend. Again, I don't think he's gonna like he might win. You never know this far out. Um, I just think his performance, looking at the teaser trailer, he really seems to be doing something interesting and different, and I really do appreciate that. And so I have relative faith in his ability to get out there. I mean, if he's been able to be nominated for being the worst part of Once Upon a Time in Hollywood, no question, he can be nominated for this, in my opinion.
I actually liked his performance in that movie better than Brad Pitt's, but I think speaking of Once Upon a Time in Hollywood, when you look at that 30-second teaser for this, I'm going to call out Adam McKay and Leo for how that bathroom freakout scene looked pretty much exactly like his trailer freakout scene in that movie. It could be a similar performance, I don't know. It just looks maybe a little too wacky in general for the movie.
Well, I
Um,
suppose it would be a great opportunity to acknowledge him for the work he's been doing for climate change for a very
yes,
long time.
yeah,
Um, and I could see, even if the movie's very heavy-handed, um, I could still see people saying, you know what, Leo's a cool dude. You know, he's committed to the
yeah,
cause. We're not. We love to see people fracking the land and destroying the globe, but
yeah.
but good for Leo. Good for Leo. Look at him standing on the stage, shaking hands with Greta Thunberg, doing things. Isn't he great? Anyways,
Hmm.
that's what I think could happen.
Yeah, yeah, and I do think I believe it was, I guess, rumored or reported that he did in order to do this movie, he did have to work with Adam McKay to change some things on the script. So I think he's invested in it at the very
Mm,
least. So he's got that going for him.
mm,
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, it's hard to really deny Leonardo DiCaprio when he does
yeah,
do an acting performance because he's very picky. It's not like he pops up in multiple movies a year.
no.
Whenever he does pop up, he is very consistently nominated. But I
Mm,
think could be the chance where maybe he isn't. But
mm,
that's probably, I don't know. I'm just hoping, I guess, because who knows? If he gives a great performance and he's worthy, then good for him.
mm.
But my number one would be Mr. Denzel Washington in Tragedy of
Oh,
Macbeth.
sure it is.
Yes. Uh, my one and two are your honorable mentions.
Mm,
Yes. So Denzel, I mean, he always gives a good performance. Really, I don't think he ever gives a bad performance per se. He could maybe not work as hard on some of them, but he always is good. I mean, he's playing Macbeth, which is like a juicy role, and he's being directed by Joel Cohen, and I think it's going to be an overall big contender.
mm,
And I mean, he was in the conversation a few years ago for Fences on winning a third Oscar.
mm.
Frances just won her third Oscar. So why not give Denzel his third Oscar, you know? And then
Yeah.
they can be buddied. The Macbeth family can be a triple Oscar family.
I kind of hate giving people more than one Oscar, particularly if they don't deserve it. No, I'm not saying he doesn't. I haven't seen the movie
Mm-hmm.
yet. But I mean, I don't personally think Frances McDormand deserved a third Oscar. I don't think Mahershala Ali deserved a second Oscar. I don't think a lot of people deserve multiple Oscars unless it's significantly better than the performance that they won originally for. That's the way I
Yeah.
would judge that.
I
Um,
honestly, I don't mind if someone wins another Oscar if they're like definitively the best
yeah.
performance within that category, which last year I'd say Francis was at least the second best within that category, so it wasn't like terrible. I
The
liked
problem
Vanessa
with
Kirby
me
the
was that
most,
she was
but
great, but she never kind of changed. She was just very even throughout the movie. There was no highs and lows with her character. It was all
yeah.
through the directing. And that's like it's a performance. It's very good and she is the movie, but it was always just one sort of page. I never really saw any other emotion. That
Hmm.
was kind of my main problem with it. Watching it a second time, that really stood out to me. But she was still very good, but she was by no means, in my opinion, the best in the category. You got Vanessa Kirby, Andrew Day, and Carey Mulligan were all significantly better, in my opinion.
Hmm.
In Mahershala Ali's case, you had Richard E. Grant, who, oh my God, was just phenomenal. He was, oh my, like, should have won, in my opinion. And it's sad that his career is kind of not really taken off since because it was just such a great performance.
He is
But
Loki.
he and then he died.
Yeah. Maybe he'll get an Emmy nomination for that. Who knows?
Yeah,
Guest actor.
for guest actor, if
Yeah.
Julia Louis-Dreyfus got one, didn't she? For being
I don't think so. I think she was in contention, but I don't believe she got in.
what a waste. Wow. Okay, that's really stupid. Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, he
Maybe we
probably
should
won't
talk
get
about the
one.
Emmys at some point. They're coming up.
Yeah. Oh yeah, there's Mayor of Easttown. Yeah, we got to talk about
Yeah.
that. But yeah, so that is the number ones, and good for Denzel.
Yeah.
I'm glad to see an actor. Um, I love to see older actors continue to do amazing work
Hmm.
and continue to do exciting work because it's really sad. You always see the case of older actors and they don't get offers anymore, and it's
Hmm.
it's good to see him, Francis McDormand, continue to be at the top of their game, even if I
Yeah.
don't necessarily think they are.
Yeah. Yeah. So that's the actor category, you know. It's looking like an interesting field this year. No big standouts in my opinion, but you know, as we always say, there's always those movies that pop up in the end of the year, and
Mhm.
Riz Ahmed gave an amazing
Yeah,
performance that I would have
Riz
had
Ahmed
no clue
should have
about.
won. Riz Ahmed was the best performance. He was by no way. None of them touched him.
The
None of them
second
touched him.
best. I think Anthony.
Nah,
I
the
don't
best.
like the way Anthony Hopkins won, but I do think he was the best. But we've had this conversation before,
I
you
think
know.
other actors could have done that performance just as good, but I don't think anyone else could
Possibly.
have done what Riz Ahmed did. Oh, I just don't think they could have. He is just such a sweetheart. But I don't see a Riz Ahmed this year. I do not see a Riz. Maybe Benedict Cumberbatch. Maybe
Maybe.
Benedict Cumberbatch.
Maybe.
Anyways,
Yeah, so that's Best Actor. If you guys see a performance that's upcoming that we didn't include, if you think Timothy Chalamet is going to be showing some real acting chops in Dune, feel free to
mm.
comment that down below. And like, subscribe, share the video. And yes, thank you for watching, and we'll see you soon for another Oscar Film Forecast video.